they're basically trying to make the argument that Morph shapeshifted into Jean Grey in order to kiss Wolverine. And this is why I say when Beau DeMayo released a description of Morph that he has an interesting buddy relationship with Wolverine. Are we drawing the conclusions? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chase, and this is Cut to the Chase with me, Chase. And the controversy surrounding Morph being non-binary, that is completely unnecessary because according to the X-Men creators of the original animated series, well, they're saying Morph, he was always non-binary. And as we'll find out, their story just isn't adding up because there's just a lot of holes in it. And this just seems like a grab at the Pandaverse stone. To quote South Park. So we'll get into that. But if you're not caught up on the whole Morph controversy surrounding X-Men 97, if you go back to the original animated series, Morph was just a very quick character. He was just an average dude who had the ability to shapeshift. That's just who Morph was. Now fast forward to the present where we have former showrunner, Beau DeMayo, where he announces that Morph is non-binary. And we just need to accept that. Well, me and others just, we aren't having that, so. But we now have the original creators on the original animated series coming out and saying, Morph non-binary? Why, that was always the case. Even when it didn't exist, even when the idea wasn't even there, Morph actually was non-binary. Apparently they were ahead of their time by 30 years. Let's go and see what they're saying. This is coming actually from Bounding Into Comics. If you don't visit that website, you totally should. So according to the creators of both the X-Men animated series and the character himself, the decision to portray team member Morph as non-binary individual in the upcoming X-Men 97 sequel series is not the radical change critics claim it is, but rather a logical conclusion based on the character's shape-shifting powers. What? So he's non-binary because he shapeshifts. Interesting point, because a lot of people in my comments on my previous video, that's what they were saying. Well, he can shapeshift. It makes sense. One brilliant commenter posted this, that mutants don't get their powers until they hit puberty. So for the time that Morph was born up until he hit puberty, who was he? He was a dude! And so when he gains his powers, it's not that he lost his identity. He was still a guy. He could just shapeshift between different creatures, people, whatever. I love that comment. That was such a good comment. So anyway, what are these creators saying? This read of Morph's character was offered by the X-Men animated series creator Eric Lewald, his wife Julia Lewald, and director Larry Houston. Okay, so those are the three. The trio unanimously pushed back on the ground that the mutant's new gender identity was already inherent in his power set. So they're claiming this ain't new. It was already there. Okay, how so? Well, they'll explain. For me, the word non-binary is the same as the word shapeshifter. Okay, audience, I want you to remember what he just said there. He said non-binary is the same as shapeshifter. Non-binary equals shapeshifter. Okay. Every character that can change from one gender to another or from human to animal, that's just another word for shapeshifter. So he doubles down. Non-binary equals shapeshifter. Now they're going to dive into what people in my comment section were actually saying. If he can shapeshift into male, female, that is as non-binary as you can be. Like, that is totally non-binary. He doesn't have a gender. So let's break into that. Drawing attention to the fact that he disguises himself as various X-Men during his turncoat return in the two-part episode Till Death Do Us Part, Eric Lewald asserted, very interesting, who's he? They cannot possibly be talking about Morph because he would go by they, them, right? Who knows who he's talking about? This is a prime example of people just playing stupid games. He attacks Wolverine. his closest friend in the most dramatic way by turning into Jean Grey and putting his hand on Wolverine's neck and leaning in for a kiss. That's as non-binary as you can get, really, to frame the reference. Morph has a goal. He has to do something to get to that goal. That means going through Wolverine. And so one of the things he does, he shapeshifts into Jean Grey to seduce, do whatever he needs to with Wolverine to get through. So the reason he's even with Wolverine is because it's a stepping stone to his objective. This isn't love. This isn't spicy content. This is, I gotta do this to get to here. How are you conflating this area with being non-binary? How are you conflating it with anything gender related or, you know, something spicy content? Because as he says, he went in for a kiss. Isn't that pretty non-binary, folks? So now we're getting two conflated definitions of what non-binary means. Because remember, non-binary equals shapeshifter. But now, non-binary equals shapeshifting into Jean Grey to go into Wolverine for a kiss. That's like saying in Mulan, when at the end when the dudes dress up as ladies, that would be like the creators coming out today and saying, you know, all those guys that did that, they were actually transgender the whole time. Never knew it. Isn't that crazy? It's stupid. It's stupid. And it's insulting everybody's intelligence. It's Morph turning into a woman and coming on to Wolverine to freak him out. Continued the original series creator of this hilariously so progressive, it's regressive argument. It was all there in Morph's character. Now it's become such a social thing that I think people will be more sensitive to how it's used. That's the only difference. We didn't see a problem in reading him and didn't feel he was any different. They're basically trying to make the argument that Morph shapeshifted into Jean Grey in order to kiss Wolverine. That there wasn't some other objective at play. They're trying to conflate that he could have done anything else, but he wanted so much to shapeshift into Wolverine and to kiss him. And this is why I say when Bo DeMeo released a description of Morph that he has an interesting buddy relationship with Wolverine. Are we drawing the conclusions? Okay. So that is their take on this whole Morph being non-binary. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense. They can't keep their story straight. They really can't define what they're even talking about because non-binary is meaning a whole bunch of different things according to them. And they also keep referring to Morph with his real pronouns of he, him. They're not even playing the game of they, them. So this is just pure pandering at this point. It means absolutely zero, nothing. But I want to know what you guys think when it comes to Morph. I'm especially curious if you were holding the belief of, well, Morph can change into anything he wants. Kind of makes sense that he'd be non-binary. Does that change that belief a little bit? I'd be very curious to know. Or do you not even care? It's like Morph's just a guy. Let's just stop with the nonsense. I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. And if you like this video, please go and like it. If you have not yet already, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications so you always get notified when a video of mine drops. More content like this all the time. And as always, guys, peace out.